This is my 1948 Farmall Super A. I bought this for a parts tractor, and it turned out to be a pretty good runner, and I really couldn't part it out. All the tires on it were completely shot. The front end has a lot of damage as far as the grill. You can see it's all smashed up. The front tie rod was damaged, and when I got to looking at it, someone actually cut this axle tube off for some reason. So I must have had a pretty good collision on this side. After I fixed the tie rod, I couldn't figure out why this thing would not go straight. Once I realized that this was cut, someone actually drilled the hole for this center pin crooked. So this whole knee or spindle, whatever you want to call it, was actually bent. So once I figured that out, it actually goes pretty straight now. The front tires I did replace. I changed the wheel bearings, put new wheel weights on. You can see it had a failure at some point. It actually wore through the cap for the wheel bearing. I did change the rear tires as well. You could see the tubes through the tires that were on it. It has 11.2 24s on it now. They're BKTs. They're pretty good tires. I did kind of set this one up as my cultivating tractor. So right now it has hillers on the front. On the back it has these just cultivator tines. I use this for our potato patch that we have. It works pretty well for that. The touch control system, I need to go through that and rebuild that at some point. It works fine. It's just once you shut it off, the rear kind of droops down. The ignition system on this and electrical system was all messed up. I did end up replacing the battery box, the complete wiring harness, and over here on the other side, the magneto, I had to go through and rebuild that. When I first got it, it was wired up incorrectly, and I had to hand start it. It bit me pretty good while doing that because the timing was all out of whack. Everything below the gas tank, basically down, was completely black on this tractor. I don't think it had ever been cleaned or given much love in its lifetime. You can kind of see a better shot of it. The seat was completely broken. I had to change the seat springs out. I don't know how they were driving this thing. It was completely whooped. But once I got it running, I mean, it runs very well. It doesn't really have any issues other than it's pretty ugly. I'll start it up here real quick. I like listening to the exhaust flapper on this thing. It just sits there and purrs pretty good. I probably should have parted this thing out, but it runs so decent, and it drives so nice. I couldn't do it. I did want to use this for parts for my Super A, but I thought, well, it's kind of decent after I cleaned it up, so I ended up saving it. I'd like to go through and maybe paint this one someday. I feel, since it was so bad, it's deserving of a paint job at some point. I do like the patina on it though. It's kind of different though.